I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Possible, always with the brother with the same mother, Aaron Potts, Super Hot Potts, and when your favorite two black runners coming at you every single Two Black Tuesday. Let's go, baby.
No, that's hard.
We here today, Joshua and I, we 800-meter runners, so we super excited for who we have on today. But without further ado, Joshua, introduce the special guest we got on the pod with us.
Come on, y'all. Y'all don't know. This is a big one. Future of the sport. He already doing this thing, so I guess he ain't the future of the sport no more. The Prodigy, 2021 first team All-American outdoors in the 800 for NCAA.
Sir.
2020 Missouri Gatorade Track and Field Athlete of the Year, a 3-time state champion in Missouri, twice in the 800, once in the 16 too. He can do it all in the mid distances. Club track and field legend. Michael Granville came on the podcast and hyped this dude up for the 800, bro. They excited for his future, bro. This man's the prodigy of the sport. Brandon Miller, B. Miller, Texas A&M, gig him on the podcast. Let's go, Brandon Miller. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on the podcast. Hey, as I said, y'all doing something special, so it's my honor to be on here.
Hey, man, to hear that from you means a lot. Definitely, like we said, me and Joshua grew up in that club scene, so like in the club world, you're on that same level as like the Michael Granvilles, like the Obi Moore legends, the Elias Gideons. Like, what did it feel like? What does it feel like? Do you ever see yourself as that? Like, did you know that you're on that level?
No. I think some part of me still hasn't set in. I think that might be because I'm still running. But I feel like, a couple years down the road when I'm done running, I'll have some time to reflect on everything I achieved on the club level. So,
well, I'll say right now, just on the podcast, since we're on the topic, in 2013, I went to nationals for USATF in Missouri. Like you said, I was on the edge of Missouri and Illinois. And that's when I first seen you run, actually, and you ran the 1500. And I remember I was back at the hotel and we were watching on like USATF.tv when we got to watch the races for free. Come on, Runner Space, come on now. But yeah, we got to watch the races on nationals for free. And I seen you, like, I think you won the 1500. And the reason this memory sticks to me so hard in my head is that you crossed the line. I don't know if you shushed the camera, but like you dogged the camera, like for sure. Like you had a mean mug face at the camera afterwards. And I was like, wait, this guy's a beast. Then the next day, like you destroyed the 8, and then there was like a storm. And we don't have to talk about my race. This dude smacked me, bro. He smacked me. Yeah. That was the first time I seen you race, and then in 2014 I seen you race at Humble. At Humble at the Texas JOs too. So definitely been seeing you like race through the circuit at the national level. Then to see you have that flow track thing with the Prodigy stuff, that was really cool. So you definitely did your thing in club track. You really got it done for sure.
Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
But other than that too, like you're all grown up now, and that's what's dope. Like I'm always rooting for people that you see them running these fast times at such a young age, and you had amazing season last year, and we're super excited to see what you're gonna do this year. And you're starting off the year right. Like you just ran yesterday, ran a 147 to beat out big names like Craig Engles. You killed that 600 running 115. How you feel about where you're at and the shape you're in right now?
I feel pretty good, man. I feel like we're in a good spot after the first 2 races. It really gives me and my coach flexibility on what we want to run throughout the season. Because the thing about indoors in the NCAAs, it's all about time. You want to get one of those top 16 marks to make it to nationals. So right now I feel like I'm in a good position to, if I want to run a mile, I can run a mile. If I want to run another 600, I can run another 600 without having to stress about always running an 800 to try to get that qualifying time each week.
Yeah, when you just talked about flexibility in races, I just immediately I was thinking about a thing running that 437. You gonna go out there and run a mile too? That's what you thinking about?
I might, man. It's been on my mind. Me and my coach have been talking about it. That's something I grew up doing the 1500. Yeah. So I feel like a mile is well within the range of outcomes that I could run at a given meet. So it's all about talking to my coach and really, just sitting down, having that conversation, and figuring out what we're gonna do the upcoming meet. So
Yeah, for
Also,
sure. I would love to see that.
also looking at like just progression, like from last year. I remember last year you're opening up more around like 150,
Right.
149. What do you think got you to 147 to be like just a little bit more? I don't know if if you're stronger or if you're sharper. What is it that you think is getting you like faster times earlier on this year?
I really think it was I should say my experience indoors before this year. I never ran indoors other than my senior year of high school. I mean, we all know what happened in 2020 with COVID. So it was, a real big learning experience last year on like how to run indoors, because I don't care what nobody says, indoors is so much more different from outdoors. So um, being able to learn how to run the races and run fast in the races was something I had to learn last year. And I'm just applying the knowledge this year. So
Yeah, for sure. And now Aaron was mentioning earlier, like you did beat some big names to beat out Craig Engles, like a charging Craig Engles on your back, like that last 200 meters. Just kind of take us through that race a little bit, and what was just like that was a hard fought win for sure.
yeah, man, I was just blessed to be in that position. It was funny because he's definitely strong, man. I remember going into that last lap, I looked up at the screen. I'm like, man, this dude is not. I'm not shaking this dude. So at that point, I just had to, stay calm, stay relaxed, and just push it on through the finish line. So
No, you definitely did your thing, but Aaron also. Well, I seen this earlier, but Aaron wanted to acknowledge this as well. And opened up 147. Last year you opened up at 150, closed the year with a 144. This year 147. The sky's the limit. And even before this opener, you tweeted out saying, "Due to the fact that I believe in the abilities that God gifted me, I am breaking the collegiate record
yeah,
this year." Aaron loves
yeah,
this energy. Aaron
I
loves
love
this
that.
energy.
yeah,
I love that. Speak it into existence.
yeah, man. As they say, man, the world belongs to the bold, man, and I feel like it's all about a matter of gaining, as I like to say, not confidence in yourself, but confidence in the abilities that God gave you. Uh, in my opinion, I feel like, as followers, God doesn't want us walking around down here timid and,
Mhm.
afraid, because that's not the type of God he is. You know what I mean? So, um, as a believer, I know the size of the God I serve. So it's really about, if I know I'm going to put in the work and I know the size of the God I serve, I'm going to put my dreams out there and I'm going to say it once and then I'm going to go to work and achieve it. So
Most definitely. That's powerful. And I feel like I sense that energy in your races. Like I was just rewatching NCAAs with you versus Isaiah, and it's like
mhm.
I love, you know, historically sometimes people might see you as like a front runner. I feel like you could do it all. Like you said, you ran the 15 and everything, but you're going straight out there with him. And it's just like
Mhm.
come with me. Like you're not really
Yeah,
you never really afraid of the moment. We'll talk about this more, and I think that comes from like you were a star in club. So when you're on that level, if you believe in yourself, you're gonna put it all out there and go for it. But
no,
actually,
100%.
yeah, and the transition, like we always like to talk about, how did you find the sport? How did you come to it? Who was like that influential person that's consistently been in your life? And if this is a separate person, who was that person that kind of introduced you into the sport of track and field?
Definitely my parents. My parents put me out on the track when I was like super young, just to, me and my brother was out tearing up the house as kids, being bad little kids. And so they put us out on the track and, just to get some energy off. And ever since she put us on the track, I haven't got off, but I think my parents did a great job of really not making it. I feel like they did a great job of letting me be a kid. As you guys said, I was blessed to experience success at an early age in track and field.
Mhm.
And what you see sometimes is like when people experience success at an early age for a sport, sometimes they tend to burn out. Um, but I feel like my parents did a great job of keeping me as a kid. I played three sports all the way through high school, and when it wasn't track season, I wasn't training for track. So yeah, definitely my parents was the most influential part of putting me on the track. And my mom was my coach all the way through high school. So yeah.
When you say you played three different sports or two other sports besides track in high school, like honestly, like I can definitely see it. But really, just how you said that, like you can break this record, because I feel like you definitely the kid on the playground that like, bruh, I can shoot more, like I can shoot better than you, I
Yeah,
can
that's the
play better handball
basketball.
than
That's the
you,
basket. That's the
you know.
basketball.
So what
Yeah,
other two
no.
sports were you playing in high school as well?
Well, I played football throughout my whole childhood. You know, football, I love football. Football is probably, if I didn't do track, I'd probably be doing football, to be completely honest. Um, but I also play basketball. I feel like that's kind of where, that kind of energy comes out, because there's just
Yeah.
something different about basketball. And when the lights come on in basketball, it's like you can't hide. And I don't care how nice you are off the court, when you're on the court and somebody starts trash talking you, that's when you figure out what's in yourself. And then and yeah, so I feel like that kind of part of me comes from, my background in basketball. So
What was it like to, like, we grew up with our dad was like our main coach, and I would say our parents too were main influences that got us into sport and everything. What was it like having your mom as your coach throughout that time? Was she really tough on you? Did y'all argue, or was it like seamless?
uh I won't say it was all smooth sailing. I was growing up, becoming a young man, and sometimes you step out of line and things like that. But no, my mom did a great job of separating track from home life. So whenever we was at home, I had to be the one to bring up track in order for her to talk about it. You know what I mean? So she did a really good job of separating, being a mom from being a coach. So, and she treated me like one of the other athletes. She was never harder on me than anybody else. She expected excellence from everybody on the team. So
Did your mom have like a whole like club team with like other kids that you were training with as well?
yeah. So we had a club team called Ultimate Speed Academy, and we were based in
Yeah.
St. Louis. And we was pretty big. We had like 3 locations throughout the city. And yeah, we ended up being pretty successful. I know they just won the club championships last year or 2 years ago or something like that. So it was a pretty big team, and she was one of the main coaches on there. So
What was it like seeing like your parents in like that leadership position? Like straight, like you're seeing them, like you don't get to see them at work like every single day, but to see
right.
them like in their leader position, like in like the club world, and how people are like respecting them. Because I think we saw our dad a lot of that, a lot of like that as well. Like if he wasn't the owner of the club, he was definitely involved with the business things inside of that as well. So how was it
Yeah.
just seeing like your parents in that leadership position at a young age?
It was great. It gave me something to chase after, pretty much. As far as my mom, she was a great leader on the track. My dad was really into football. My dad coached my older brother, because my older brother plays college football right now at Iowa State University. So to just see them both in their elements really inspired me. And when you see somebody in their element and they're doing it well, man, it's a good thing to see, especially from somebody you look up to like your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you see
and
coaching in your future, bro?
I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was to coach any sport, it'd probably be football.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd make a really good track coach, to be honest. I don't, you know. I I have, sometimes I feel like sometimes my mindset when it comes to working out is so different from a lot of other people's mindsets that sometimes you could, maybe push somebody too hard, or something like that. So I don't think I'd be a good track coach, so to speak, but I think I'd be a great football coach.
you got that football mind on the track, just killer out
I
there. You know what
appreciate
I
that.
mean?
I appreciate that, man.
But also, like you're saying, you have a big love for football. You have this love for track. You play basketball. Was there a moment, within club track or something where you're like, this is my sport. I like this one, and I want to focus on it more than anything else?
I think track was always my favorite sport to do growing up. Um, you know, just being, I think that had a lot to do with, being exposed to AAU Junior Olympics at a young age and things like that. And I remember what really set it apart was I remember my mom and my dad made a bet when I was 13. And the bet was like, my mom wanted me to stop playing football, but continue playing basketball and doing track. And my dad wanted me to continue playing football since my dad played football on a collegiate level. And the bet was if I ran 2 minutes at 13, if I ran sub 2, I would stop playing football. Now, I didn't know anything about this bet. And I ended up running 156. So it kind of, it kind of, after that, I stopped playing football. So.
Wait, what is the club scene like in Missouri? Because when we grew up, the club scene in like LA is popping. Like we go to meets and like teams be like singing like they're like fire, don't like fire. Like we had legends like Coco, like Elias, like you knew who was racing. Like
the
is
hot
it similar?
Links and ribs.
Hot links and ribs at the meet, chicken links, like.
Oh yeah,
what was it like in Missouri?
You got a whole rib plate at the meet. What?
Oh man, when I was a kid, as y'all said, as a kid, it was popping. There was so much talent, just coming through the ranks, and just to be able to watch people throughout Missouri. I don't know if you guys know, like Jamison Williams, the wide receiver for Alabama. I ran club track with him. Yeah. Watching my brother, Hassani Barr, who goes to Baylor now, runs a 400. Just seeing people like that and just the sheer competitiveness that we had as kids, it really created an atmosphere of excellence. And, I'm not around it too much now because I'm in college, so it might have changed. But when I was a kid, man, it was popping, man. It was a great place to be.
Yeah. Wait, like saying like Jamison Williams and people like that, like seeing those people that you ran with in club go on to do big things, like how is that inspiring for you? Because me and Aaron have like the same experience. The people that we ran with, like Thomas Graham, he now plays for the Bears, and I ran club track with them and stuff. Like how is it to have like those type of experiences and see those people, and like how does that inspire you like through your races and workouts and whatnot and just life?
It inspires me because with somebody like Jamison or somebody like my brother, we all used to work out together on this, with my dad, because my dad was like my strength coach growing up. And it really inspired me because we all had this mindset of achieving greatness, you know what I mean? And it's really inspiring to see your brother actually achieve that, as I said, dreams to reality. He accomplished his dreams after talking about it so much. So that makes you want to push harder because you're this close to your dream. You know what I mean? So just being down there and sharing a collective struggle throughout the workouts with your brothers, and then seeing them succeed is really inspiring. It makes you want to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and like for me, I seen so many people make it to like the NFL and things like that with track that we've trained with, coming up, like people playing on the Rams and stuff. And it makes me think back to like, like you said, like your mom started that club. Our dad was like the head of our club. And I'm like, dang, like this was like a special group of people and parents and families that were all together. And that's makes me feel just like super blessed. And it kind of takes me back to about how you were mentioning about like your faith. Has that always been something that's been big in your life? Did like your parents like instill that within you too?
Yeah. When I was little, I went to the Christian school, and faith has always been a part of my life. But I would be lying if I said it was always a priority. I think everybody has to go through our own journey of having their own walk with Christ. As kids, we always grow up, but it always, as I said, you have to, find your own walk with Christ. And that really happened for me last year, actually. When I look back on my career and how it's went, I feel like it's a testimony that I'll be able to share with a lot of people. So
that's dope, man. Cause I feel like we just have very similar stories, bro. We came up the same, bro, in a strong Christian home too, parents being leaders. But how did you keep that faith? Like, cause I know that transition to high school, like you ran 149, like eighth, or was that ninth grade or
Ninth
10th
grade,
grade?
yeah.
Ninth grade. And like, I feel like, but did you feel pressure going into high school, like having to done all this stuff in club and then immediately after your first year running so fast? What was that
Yeah.
transition like?
It was a major transition. As I said before, you know, as this saying, whether it's light, there's shadows and things like that. So as I experienced, all the, hype and all that as a kid, it also came with its downfalls as well. So I remember looking at YouTube videos and then looking at comments about me saying this and that, doubting me and my abilities to do something that I really wanted to do, and looking at those comments degrading you as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, that could really do bad things to your confidence. And shout out to Let's Run, nah, but yeah, man, it was looking at those comments, it was hard. So now you find yourself in a position where you're trying to, prove yourself to other people at such a young age. So when I entered high school, I was blessed to hit 149 as a freshman. And, I was riding high on that. I was riding high. And then I was able to hit 149 as a sophomore as well. And, when you're at this point, sometimes you kind of, which I feel like happens to a lot of people, sometimes you lose sight of what got you there, and sometimes pride sets in. Sometimes you don't have a real big sense of humility, and sometimes you need to be humbled. So my junior year came out and I tore my hamstring. I was trying to run the 200. I tore my hamstring, so I was out my whole junior year. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work back to get back to where I was before my injury, because I was out for like 4 months. It was a bad tear. It was like off the bone. And I'm working back. I went to physical therapy for like every day for like 4 months. And then my senior year comes and I get a couple indoor races because I figured I need to do some indoor before my first freshman year of college. And then COVID hits, right? So it's kind of just like I'm sitting here with really only 2 years of high school running. And you see these comments, and you go into high school running 149, and then you leave high school running 149, and then everybody labels you as a bust. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just it was kind of hard in that period of time. Look at these comments, look at these people, and then sometimes it would creep into your mind. Well, what if these people are right? You know what I mean? But it wasn't until I got to A&M and I really started getting into my faith that I knew God was forming me and shaping me to be the man that I am, so that I could handle the blessings that He had waiting for me. We call that the waiting room. When God has you in the waiting room, some people aren't patient, and that could really mess up your blessing. When in a matter of fact, God is just molding you into the individual He wants you to be, so that you can handle the things that He's going to give you. And I feel like that's one of the big reasons I went from 149 to 144 my freshman year. You know what I mean? So.
Man, it's nice that we recording this on a Sunday. Tell you that. It's nice that we recording this on a Sunday, but no, like facts on all that. And like, I think that can be hard. That's hard for like a pro 26-year-old to go through and read those Let's Run comments. So for then like a 15-year-old to go through and read those Let's Run comments, just imagine how that can be. Or just not just Let's Run do be doing that, but like any other place too,
100%.
So like that's definitely tough. And I just like how you didn't say like you ran 149. You were blessed to run 149, and that most definitely is the truth, to be able to do that. But you definitely did overcome that and come through on the other side of that adversity. Yeah, I'm hyped now. Man, I want to go run
Appreciate
8
that.
now. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking too, like, you gotta have that faith and that belief in yourself that God is preparing you for greatness. You know what I'm saying? At all times, like, because there's gonna be other situations outside of running, that that temptation of doubt, is gonna come to your brain and be like, oh, I'm not worth nothing. But sometimes you got to get pulled into the desert, so you can grow. You know, we ain't trying to give y'all
Man,
a
that's
full sermon
facts.
today. Go check out Transformation first.
Wait, so Aaron, is this
Nah,
why you still believe you can run 54 in the 4, bro?
Come on, man. Stop, bro. That's light. That's light.
All right,
Also,
man.
though, we got a bunch of. I don't be running like that, but me and Joshua got a bunch of bets. This man be doubting me. Like, come on, man. But other than that,
what are the
so
bets? What are the bets?
Basically,
this
know what
guy,
this man said
this
on
guy,
Brandon? You know what this man said on the podcast? He was on like, bro, like I can run 5 minutes in a mile right now, right now. And granted, Aaron was fast. Aaron ran 4:14 in high
Uh,
school, went to state and everything. He did his thing.
ooh.
He hasn't been running that much though. And he was like,
it
in
was
anything I'm
4:30. It
weighing
was
right now,
4:13, but it's all good. It was 4:13 actually, but it's
bro.
all good.
But this man, he was all like, we did this podcast. He was like, I can run 5 minutes in a mile right now in what I'm wearing right now. And I said, all right, bro, go do it. I'll give you $100 if you do. He wouldn't go do it. He wouldn't go do it. Then his girlfriend was like, I'll give you 100 too, $200 on the table, and he still wouldn't do it. He's scared.
Bro,
You don't think like,
bro,
Ah.
he trying to control me with money. He trying to control me.
He
He can
said,
make.
control me with
That's what I'm saying. It's raining outside. Everything. I got all
come
my
on, bro.
clothes.
It
Why
was
do I?
sprinkling. It
I
was
thought he
I
was
don't have
saying
to.
he was setting you up for failure. That's what you said.
I was like, I don't have to prove myself to you, bro. Like, come on, man.
No, but one more too. Okay, so we watching. We were watching the Colts versus the Cardinals, I think,
Uh-huh.
and then or was it the Rams versus the Cardinals? But either way, Kyler Murray was on screen. We talking about Kyler Murray fast or whatever, and then basically brought up like, man, what would Kyler Murray run in a 400? And then Aaron was like, bro, I would beat Kyler Murray in a 400 right now. And I'm all like, what?
Bet.
Wait. I don't know, bro. What do you think? Wait, hold on. Let's have this conversation real quick. Brandon, what do you think Kyler Murray can run in the 400?
Right now.
Yeah, what can he run? And I said this because this is a whole nother conversation. On another pod, we talked about football players running, and we talked to Otto about this too. Players running a 400. I was trying to say, you know, top corners and receivers could break 50 easy. And they were like, no, like they'll probably run 55, 50, 54. So I'm like, okay. Okay, if that's what y'all think that they would run Kyler Murray, he was a baseball player, bro. He probably gonna run like 54. 55. If that's
you're
your
not
logic,
running 54, Aaron. Aaron, you're not running 54 right now.
that's just disrespectful, bro. See, this is what I'm talking about.
He said put some respect on his name, man. He said
That's what I'm saying. It's just being disrespectful, bro. Like, come on, man.
I think Kyler could hit a low 50s. I think he'd go 53, 52. I honestly think oh no, that's a lot. How much does he weigh? Like
That's true. How much does he weigh? We
that's
gotta
a lot
see
of
that.
weight to be carrying around the track, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. How much is Kyler?
That's a great question.
But how much do I weigh though?
Google says
that's the real
207,
question.
5'10", 207.
I think I think he'll hit 53, 52 right now. I think so.
Aaron, so you're running 52 right now?
Yes. Let's go. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
go ahead.
Come on, man. It don't even matter.
Right,
and we saying we lined up together. This dude trying to say that I'm gonna die. Kyler Murray's gonna die. What are you talking about, bro?
Kyler Murray is gonna die.
Kyler Murray is gonna die, bro.
Right. Come on, man. Kyler, like you gonna be so far ahead. He gonna be so far ahead of you though. He gonna be so far ahead of you. You ain't getting out like he getting out. That's facts.
I don't know.
You're running
I know
60, 70 miles, bro. You ain't, come on, bro.
Bro, I know how
to first 200.
I know how to race. He doesn't. That's all you need to know.
That's true. That experience does wonders. It does wonders for sure.
That's what I'm saying. And come on, man. We way off topic now.
We really are though. We really are.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. We just having fun.
Speaking about Kyler Murray, you going to Texas A&M. What was
yeah.
that? What went into that decision? Had those, like you said, you felt like you only ran 2 years of high school, but now you're at 800 U. Like, what went into that decision to go to Texas A&M?
I think it was seeing, first of all, I remember my mom talking to somebody when she was asking about what school should I be able to look to for college as far as 800, and the dude told her to, go and look at the last 10 NCAA championships and see who consistently had people in the finals. And, you know, just you see the greatness that A&M has produced in the 800 over the past years with, you know, Donovan Brazier, Devin Dixon, Carlton Orange, Hector Hernandez, you got Sammy Watson, Jasmine Frey, you know, and I can go on and on. And I just wanted to be a part of that, you know, and Coach Mallard, when he reached out and then when he came in on a home visit, it was like he was family. It was so smooth. And when you're going through the college process, you know, you're gonna have a better relationship with some coaches over others.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my relationship with Coach Mallard just came natural. It just came real natural, and wasn't forced or anything. And he cared about me as a young man and an individual rather than just, you know, a track runner too. So
Dang, I saw that both of your parents went to Mizzou, Missouri. Were you like
yeah.
thinking, was that like a something you wanted to do potentially?
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I always thought I was going to go to Mizzou, maybe to play football, run track. I thought me and my older brother was going to go to Mizzou, but I guess it just didn't work out that way. You know, when you start getting older, you start thinking for yourself a little bit. I
Yeah.
wanted to explore other options. So
Yeah, but then once you get to Texas A&M, like you just talk about a little bit like the community of like especially the track team plus the track team, then like the subsection of like 800U, like you guys making a YouTube channel and like
right.
having that like family in your own way. Like, is that one of the things that really sets A&M like apart from these other schools?
Yeah, I think just the expectation of excellence that comes from Coach Henry. You know, our head coach, he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest coaches ever in the sport of track and field. So when he's been around greatness, that's what he expects out of his athletes. So just being around that every single day, it does wonders on your mind. You know, you start thinking like a Hall of Famer, as you used to say, and then just being around so much talent in the 800 last year. I came in with the slowest PR. I was
Mhm.
around Devin Dixon, Carlton Orange, Alan Clay. So just being around those group of guys last year, it really pushed me in practice. You know, they really pushed me in practice, and I was able to get better and better and better training with those guys every single day. And again, man, I like to think that we are probably the most fun 800 group. He's probably the most fun 800 group in the nation last year, probably the most fun this year. That's why, you know, when you had that collection of personalities, when you have a Devin Dixon, a Carlton Orange, a Alan Clay, a Caden Orange, you add in a thing, Dominic Mustin, and et cetera, et cetera. You just get so many different personalities, and we all just mesh so well, and it just makes practice a really, really fun environment.
No, that's definitely needed too for 800 group because like,
For
hey,
real.
we
The
work
workouts be
hard.
hard. The workouts be hard. The
It's
workouts
like,
be
come on,
hard.
man. That stuff
Mm-hmm.
be hard. So to have like that group together definitely is a big plus. And then starting the YouTube channel, what was like that? Whose thought process was that? And like kind of like broadcasting like we 800U, this is what we about, and like showing people the fun that comes with running 800 in a way.
I think we always thought of ourselves as 800U, so it was kind of just like a thing that we could get behind and just show people our personality, show people what we're like off the track, show people what we do for workouts sometimes. And yeah, I mean, we were so inconsistent last year as far as putting up videos, but I think we're put out a video this year. We got some more on the way, so we're gonna try to be more consistent. But yeah, just having the opportunity to show other people who we are off the track, I think that was the main motivation for starting the YouTube channel.
Also, coming into your freshman year, you know, you had that COVID period in your senior year of high school. How
Mhm.
were you healthy finally coming into that first season? And then what was like the hardest about the transition from high school to college for you?
Yeah, I was healthy going into college. I would say the hardest part of going from high school to college track is one, you have, if you're not really comfortable with people running around you, you have to be comfortable with people running around you, because when you get to college, everybody is good. Everybody's like that. Everybody's a dog. You know what I mean? And also, the schedule, just running for that period of time. As I said, I had never ran track all year round until my freshman year of college, and going from September to June, that was an adjustment that I had to make. And, just that much time commitment to one thing. And then plus you add in school on top of that for, X amount of months. And then you add in travel with school. And it's just all, just figuring out how to manage your time in the most efficient way so you can be the most successful on and off the track.
No, most definitely. That can most definitely be a lot. But then what possibly could have made it better for you isn't having like a lot of people around you in that group of 800U, especially like the freshmen of like you, a thing, and like Dominique are like all the same year, and like having these people going through like the same experiences. And I feel like we would be dismissed on the podcast if we didn't ask you about like a thing, Mo. Like you being, what have you learned like kind of from her, just being like a teammate and a friend of her, like seeing her work out on the track and then seeing her a friend. Like how has it been? What have you learned from a thing just from the time being with her?
I always tell her this, man. A thing has inspired me in ways that she cannot understand. The type of hard worker she is. I remember last year there was a period of time where I remember after a workout, I was just on the ground. I was just on the ground, just completely dead. And I look up at a thing and she's just completing the reps. And I'm just like, man, this girl does not die on these workouts. And it showed on the track, you know what I mean? So just the type of hard worker she is, but really just the type of person she is. You would never know that she's an Olympic champion, 2-time Olympic champion, I should say. And I just think that just it's a testament to her character and just the type of person that she really is.
Yeah, and it's like crazy too, because we were thinking like y'all have similar paths too, to where it's like during the club, you guys both come from club, and then throughout high school and club, people knew who you were, kind of like prodigies and stuff. And then the fact, I mean, you got runner up at NCAAs. We all know what she did. It's just yeah, 800U for sure. Y'all really stood out.
Appreciate that, man. We're trying to make it a staple this year. I feel like we got a good group of guys, and I feel like good group of girls that we're really going to solidify the name this year. So.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, you already solidified it. Let's be honest here.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think so.
That's what I've been trying to tell people, but some people don't want to believe me. So.
But also, we want to talk about last season as well, like the Olympic trials, bro. Going first time at the Olympic trials. Just how was that experience, and what's one of the biggest things you learned from that?
Man, it was crazy, man. It was one of those moments where I would watch all these people on TV, growing up and this and that. You watch Clayton Murphy run at 2016. You see him get third in the Olympics and whatnot, and then you're in the heat against him 4 years later, 5 years later, and you're like, okay, this is crazy. But I would say the biggest thing I learned is, I like to say this, but I belong. I feel like every runner has this coming of age moment or every athlete where they realize that that this is their time, that they belong. And I feel like that happened for me at trials in semis. And when I didn't make it to the finals, I remember just standing there just like, man, I was hurt, because, as an athlete, you always want to succeed, but it doesn't quite go that way all the time. But after reflecting on the race, I'm like, man, I could have beat those dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the reasons, going back to why I tweeted that out, because now it's that newfound confidence that I'm able to do what I set my mind to, and that I'm able to run with these people, and that they're, I can compete, I should say, and I will compete with these dudes.
Most definitely, bro. I love that. I feel the same way sometimes when me and Josh will be doing some of the stuff with Two Black Runners and Running Report. You get one offer to do something or brought out. Like I even just remember just applying to jobs, getting an interview, getting turned down, and just like, dang, like they even just called me in. Like I must be nice. But I also want to hear about like when you won SECs and then getting runner up at NCAAs, because when you won SECs, was that your first time running like 140, 145, I believe?
Yeah.
What was that? What was that feeling like? Because that was like a huge PR.
Yeah. That outdoors last year was a blur, man. It started off. I remember it started off coming off of indoors. Didn't make nationals indoors. Went to outdoors. First race got third. Me and Devin Dixon, we had a dual meet at the University of Texas, and they got 1-2. We got 3-4. Anything about the rivalry of A&M and Texas, it's like, oh, we just lost to UT. But my coach came up to me. Coach Henry came up to me, and he was like, "You could be great, but you can't be afraid to fail." Right? I feel like that's a big thing for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid to fail. So after that is when I really started seeing my time drop. So I ran 150 at that meet. Next meet, I ran 148.1 the next week. The next week, I come out at Baylor, I run 147.3. Take a week off, take a couple of weeks off. In the SECs, I run 146 in the prelims and then 145 in the finals. And that was a blur to me. Kind of just like looking back on the race, we went through at 53, and just being able to set myself up to make a move down that backstretch and apply my kick on the last 200. I remember coming down the final stretch, and I was like sprinting so hard that everything was like going up and down, so I couldn't really see nothing. And then I just leaned because I saw 145, and so I just leaned my hardest, and just to see 145 hit the clock, it was just like, wow, like I was blessed to run that time. And just seeing the time like that on the screen, it was just like, oh my goodness. And then next week, Isaiah DeWitt comes in town for regionals. And I remember we're battling down the home stretch in regionals, and everybody says I dove across the line. I did not dive across the line. I leaned and I fell. But just having that battle with the dude, just having that battle with him, it was really good because it brought out both of our hearts in that moment. And I was able to PR off of that too. And then going into nationals, prelims, I was the 9th person to make it in finals. He was the 8th person to make it in finals. I think we were so fixated on each other in the prelims that we forgot the bigger picture, and that there were other people in the race. So when we got to finals, it's all about, just running my own race. And with him in the race, I was able to PR as well. He won, I got second. And yeah, just the whole thing was a blur, but just seeing those fast times hit the clock, it was pretty amazing.
All of those races, like you and Isaiah were my two of the favorite 800-meter runners to watch last year. I mean, every time y'all race, y'all battled, but like y'all also y'all bring it, y'all dare everybody to come with you. And sometimes too, we think back to like club, and that's just how you kind of taught to run that's how you're taught to run the 800 too. So it was super, super fun to watch for sure.
Oh yeah, man. I really appreciate that, man. That dude's a warrior, man. What he did at the trials was really in the finals, man. He betted on himself. I feel like we got to get to a point where everybody's comfortable with betting on yourself, and he deserved everything that came to him. So.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing y'all race last year, but it's gonna be crazy this year. And I know your focus definitely NCAAs right now, indoors and outdoors and all that. But really, the U.S. and the 800 is dangerous right now. Like Isaiah Harris, Donovan Brazier, Clayton Murphy, Brandon Kidder, Brandon Miller, Isaiah Jewett. Like there's so many people in the running trying to get those 3 spots to the world championships, and everybody's gonna be trying to like get there. But even just to be competitive in that field, just how do you feel about the state of the 800 right now and being involved with such of these elite guys trying to make their name on the world stage?
I feel like, it's great to be a part of something like this, as you always see, the 100 always got so many guys that are competitive, you know what I mean? The 200's got so many. And then, in the past, there's only been a couple of 800 runners, but now as the 800's starting to get a little bit more popular in the sport of track and field, just to see all these people coming together and making it so athletic. And I feel like a great part of it is a lot of these runners that are really competitive are Black, or young Black men. And, the 800, as a kid, nobody wants to run the 800. A lot of Black people want to be sprinters and stuff. Just to see Black men and Black women, thriving in a distance like the 800 is really inspiring. And again, it's just it just brings out your competitive nature, just to be a part of an incredible field and going to battle with these guys it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really, really fun.
And that's another thing that stands out about 800U, like y'all team, y'all have a bunch of like Black men and Black women really leading the way in the middle distance. And that's why I love to see like, I love to see you run the mile. I love to see a thing run a mile because a lot of times, people try to be like, oh, like, they don't have strength. They sprint too much, yada, 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 and all this. But it's just like, you come from the 15, like you know what that's about. So you be ready for it.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Wait, are you still doing long runs at all? Or like I'm just like, how much mileage do you be doing a week?
I'm not sure. I think we hit about 35, maybe 30, 35, not too much, but enough to where we can be competitive in a mile if we really want to, you know what I mean? I feel like when you're recruited to come to the 800 for Texas A&M, they love runners. You know what I mean? Somebody that can run the 400, 800, and the 15. But the 4x4 is a really big part of A&M.
Yeah.
So just to be able to have the ability to come down and run the 4x4 is something that we also take into account with our training and our speed work and things like that. So.
Yeah, most definitely. No, y'all 4x4 are always nice, right? Always. Great battles with the 4x4 in Texas A&M for sure. And then as we start closing out on the podcast, we want to ask you a few questions and get to some deeper stuff as well towards the end. But first, I want to come to this one first right here. Like, wait, you're a Bills fan? Like, wait, hold on, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on. Josh Allen,
Yes,
Stephon
sir.
Diggs.
Yes,
Like, wait, what's going? How did that end up happening?
When I was 7th grade, I would say I was watching. I think it was my first year in fantasy football. Me and my friends got together and played fantasy football, and I had a quarterback on my team named Tyrod Taylor, and I couldn't stop watching him. And at the time, he played for the Bills, and just watching him every week, it made me fall in love with the team. So I've been a Bills fan So when he left, I just stayed a Bills fan. So I've been with the Bills since I was like, 12 years old, 13 years old. And man, it has been rocky, I should say. It has been rocky. But now we're starting to come around. And yeah, I think we got a good shot at the Super Bowl this year if we play like we did last night.
Yeah, you gotta play like you did last night for sure. That's most definitely. Real. No, the Bills good though. The Bills good. They low-key did Tyrod Taylor dirty and
they did, bro.
And then with the Chargers, Justin Herbert's nice though, but I'm all like, they did do this man dirty.
Yeah, it's just like something happens and then the second string comes in and it's just like, yeah. Like when I heard about the thing with his lung, somebody punctured his lung.
That's what I'm saying.
They doing my man's dirty. They doing my man's dirty.
Like, how did that even happen? And I wanted to ask you this one too. What's some of your favorite memories from club track? If that's like off, like running the races or from practice or just chilling at the meet, what have been some of your favorite memories from club track when you were a kid?
I would just say meeting all the new people. I was able to meet a bunch of new people and just taking pictures with a lot of people. So I think that was pretty cool. As a 12-year-old signing an autograph, it's just like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
That's wild.
I was blessed to be able to do that. And just being able to travel to different parts of the country to be able to compete.
I'm also curious, like, do you have like a list of favorite 800 meter runners, or were there any like runners that you really looked up to as you were coming up?
Oh yeah, his name was CJ Jones. He ran track he's from St. Louis and he went to Texas Tech, but he's like my big brother. Not by blood, but blood couldn't make us any closer. And he's about 6. No, his name is Charles Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. And blood couldn't make us any closer, and just seeing him go out there and break all the records before I did. It was just very inspiring to see. He's 6 years older than me. He runs with District Track Club right now for Under Armour. So yeah, man, he inspired me to keep going in the 800 as I was growing up.
Oh, that's dope. Shout out District Track Club.
Wait, he went to Texas Tech?
Yeah, he went to Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah, we had him on the podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
With District Track Club with Eidos and Kwamel.
Yeah.
Most definitely did.
Did we though? We had Vincent from Texas Tech, but I don't know.
Oh,
if
yeah. Vincent was his teammate. I think they was like a little duo for a couple of years. So
yeah, I know you're talking about though. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, for sure. Then we always like to ask this question to people that we have on the podcast: who should we have next, bro? Sometimes we don't be knowing who to get next on the podcast, but who do you think would be great to come on that would fit the mold for the Two Black Runners podcast?
Oh, that's a great question. I think Carlton and Devin would give you guys a really funny show, to be completely honest. Not just one or the other, but both of them together. They're just a really, really funny duo. And I think they'll give y'all a great show.
I like that.
Carlton Orange and Devin Dixon. Because they're like best friends and their personalities are so different, but they mesh so well and they're just super funny. So
yeah, most definitely. Man, I have to look into that for sure. And then with Devin, with Brooks Beast as well. Yeah, they got
they starting to get stacked, man. They got starting to get a lot of talent over there.
That's what Aaron was saying.
I was telling Joshua, like, that's the best MD.
Yeah, Isaiah Harris now. It's like, yo, they doing something. They doing something for sure.
And they got the brothers. They got the brothers too, bro.
They sure do. They sure do. They sure do.
Come on, man.
Yeah, no, they're doing something special over there for sure.
Yeah. Then as we get to the end of the podcast as well, I think we have to ask as well, just like last week, the passing of Dion Lindor just tragically in that car crash. And I believe he was like volunteering coaching at Texas A&M. Just how is the team doing right now? And with like you guys having the Ted Nelson Invitational as well, just how has it been this past week, just mourning that kind of loss for such a great athlete and I believe such a great coach for you?
Yeah, it's been hard. We this past month has been hard. Before Christmas, we lost a teammate named Chance Gibson. He was also involved in a car accident, and he was a freshman on the team. And then, you know, you mourn for him and his family, and then Dion happens. It's crazy because the night he died, he was at practice that day. So we was all talking and this and that. And then I get a text. I pull up to the grocery store and I get a text from one of our coordinators saying that he passed. And I was just in shock. And it's just hard, man. It's really hard for the team right now. We're just trying to sort through it and, you know, continue on competing when you lose somebody like those two people. And but one thing Dion always said, he's like, I remember talking to him about the Bowerman, and that's one of my things. You know, I really want to get the Bowerman for him because you know, he was a former Bowerman winner, and he always you know, believed in me. And when he saw I was on a watch list, he reached out to me. And then after my 144, he reached out to me, and he was just a very, very kind person. And yeah, I know he's in a better place right now, just looking over all of us. So
definitely our condolences. Like, to lose two like a coach and a teammate in the same year has to be so tough, and then have to continue on. So condolences to both of those families.
Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, prayers definitely coming to your ways for sure. And then as we close out the podcast, we always leave our last question to all our guests. It's kind of deep, but something that we like talking about, like what mark. And I know your track and running journey still early, but what mark right now would you want to leave on the sport once you hang up the spikes and you're all done with running?
I just want to be an inspiration to people, man. You know, as y'all know, I'm only 5'7". I'm not the tallest dude at all, you know, but it's just, you know, I want to be an inspiration to people that you can do it too. You know, I want to, you know, with God, you can do anything. You know, I just want to, you know, be an inspiration that, like, if you go out there and you perform, with heart and, with desire and with the will to win, that you can achieve anything that you want. And then if you got your priorities straight, you got God number one, and then your priorities line up, man, there's nothing that you can't achieve. And that you should have this unwavering fire within you and this belief in the abilities that God gave you. So I just want to be an inspiration.
Man, I love it, man. I love it,
Appreciate
bro.
that.
I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast, speaking a message, bro. This Sunday, coming out on the Tuesday, bro. Like, you really spoke a message on this Sunday. Like, I really do think, like, I don't think this would be the last time that we interview you. I'm pretty sure we'll see you at a meet or another time on the podcast for sure. And yeah, bro, we're super hyped for you this season, what you're gonna do in indoor, what you're gonna do in outdoor, and just in life, bro. Like, we've been watching you for a minute, so we excited. We definitely excited to see what you're gonna do next, bro. Good luck on this rest of the season, bro. Good luck.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm ready to see all the success that y'all have coming to y'all too, man. Y'all go be big, man. I could just see it. I could just see the drive and the fire within both of y'all, man. And I'm just excited to see where y'all gonna be, and y'all gonna be the biggest podcast there is, man, for sure.
Hey, let them know.
Yeah, let them know.
Aaron, you got anything else to say before we get out of here?
That's most definitely the goal, to be the biggest and the best, to be,
yes, sir.
To be straight. So I love that. I love that energy. I love that we could share some of that energy you have together and converse. But to everyone listening, really appreciate y'all taking out the time to listen to the Two Black Runners podcast. And if you listen this far, you truly are a day one homie. Brandon, can't wait to have you again.
Appreciate you.
See y'all next week on Two Black Tuesday. Yes, sir. The Two Black Runners.
Peace.
Let's go, bro.